You're listening to Moonhawk Studios Presents.
Yes. One day we'll change a few notes in the theme song just to let everybody know that we're past season 5.
I think the world would implode at that point.
Yeah, I'm like, does Keith even, would he be even able to do that?
He might. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. See if he wants to upgrade the theme song after all these years. Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome to another edition of Moonhawk Studios Presents. I'm your super weird host, Mac Paladin. This just really got weird, didn't it?
When doesn't it?
Yeah. With me in the studio, as always, is my good friend Adam.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
He didn't want to fight, but he came anyway. Elemental Ogre is in the hizzy.
I wasn't supposed to be here today, but in the unedited cut, I get shot in the end.
Sobe is here in spirit. We'll just say that. And we've got Petty Fan kicking around here somewhere.
This is what happens on my day off.
Leading the Red Hat Brigade, the Golics.
See, I am supposed to be here, but I'm actually not.
Oh my. And Twilight Winter woke up from his winter slumber.
I guess I have.
I wish it was winter. It's either to put more clothes on than try and take off your skin.
I swear to God, that clip sounded a lot more clever in my head. All right, well, before we get
Such
to our
is
main...
the nature of quips.
Yeah. Before we get to our main event, as always, we purport to have a great show for you tonight. I am muddling my words. Therefore, news be to you, Adam.
The news is there is no news. I'm on break.
I'm on a union break.
No, I mean, Fragments of Silicon is on break, so I haven't done a whole lot this week.
I'm on a 2-week-long union break.
This is
more or less. It's like I've actually been able to play games that I don't have to review. I almost forgot what that was like.
You're like,
that changes next week.
It's like, oh yeah, I bought that like 9 years ago. I guess I'll unwrap it.
That's not too far off from the truth. like Steam sales. Like,
There are good things about that Binding of Isaac game.
Oh,
now it's the end is nigh.
Okay.
But enough about it.
Yeah, I was just making a about your. Anyway,
moving on.
Ogre, what have you got?
Oh, not much is happening. We got a new stove out in the kitchen, which is very nice. It actually has a broiler that works. I used it today and made some steaks. They were very delicious.
Broiler is a topside heat source?
Yeah, topside heat source. It's basically like, it's almost like grilling, but not. Let me see. I got 2 games this week because I felt like getting them. I got A Story of Seasons, Trio of Towns, because it's still Harvest Moon to me. They can bitch and moan about copyright and trademark and whatever. It's still Harvest Moon.
Next craze, new wave, dance craze, anyway, it's still...
And then I got Ukulele, which I haven't booted up yet. It was on sale for the weekend, and I figured might as well get it.
Everything's on sale for
I hear
the
it had
weekend.
some updates, so should be a little better. I think the camera was one of the ones they worked on. Other than that, not much else has been happening, so...
Don't worry, I won't be switching careers to writing jingles out of popular songs.
Helpful.
something, don't quit your day job.
Yeah. I think you probably could have dropped the something. All right. Speaking of Petty Fan, what you got cooking?
Well, my dad has is going to be starting a new job here in like the next week, I think.
Oh, thank
That-
God. I mean, that means he won't be able to harass me or anyone else on
Well-
Facebook anymore.
It's more like he's switching jobs because they were just giving him a whole lot of crap at his old job and basically telling him that he had no room for advancement even though he was a college graduate.
Wow.
So he was going to be stuck at like I think $17 an hour.
I just momentarily flashed back to that moment in American Beauty when he says, "Sir, I think you're overqualified for this position."
Yeah, well, he's what's called an instrument tech, where he basically cleans surgical instruments and gets stuff packaged up and ready for surgeries.
So medical adjacent.
Yeah. Well, he's also certified to be a surgical technologist, where he's the guy who, when the surgeon asks for something, he passes it to the surgeon.
The guy who the guy is always talking to, and they say like scalpel,
Yes.
Forceps, retractors.
Sponge. Stuff like that. Yeah. He's the one who actually, because there's been times he's actually, like when they get swamped in the ER, he's actually gone up and scrubbed in on surgeries, which that would actually give him, room to expand, but it's also a lot more stressful.
The doctor had a heart attack. We need you to operate.
Well, actually, he can. Part of the thing with certification is he can close surgical wounds. So yeah, he could. If the doctor needs to go somewhere, he could literally stitch a guy up.
I'm sorry. I was having fuck this. I got a tee off time. Why don't you close?
Yeah, basically that's what he could do. Like, you joke, but that's literally something my dad could do.
Wow.
Now it's that scene from Booty Call.
Which is weird because you wouldn't think that would be a field you'd have trouble advancing in. So
He's not actually in that part of the field. He's in the cleaning of the instruments, which at the hospital he was working at, that's not part of this. They don't put that under the surgical umbrella. So he's essentially no more than a janitor in their eyes. When he's not really. I mean, he had to get a college degree for that job.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, he's going to be going from like $16 an hour to like 22 when he finally gets on nights, and then
Damn.
after he gets another test done, he could be looking at almost $25 an hour. So that's going to be nice to help with the money troubles.
Well, yeah, definitely. That's doing my math here. That's a greater than 30% increase.
Also, I've been trying to stream some for Fragments because we need to do that if we want to make affiliate. So yeah, I've just before a call started, I was playing Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, the HD
now, which
version.
one is that?
That's the 3DS one that got ported to the PS4 in the 2.8 collection. Honestly, other than the story being convoluted as hell because, Kingdom Hearts, it controls a lot better than the 3DS version does. Like, full stop. Because, I don't have to deal with that damn circle pad. Outside of that, it's been really, really, really fucking hot.
That's my life.
105 heat index with 90% humidity. Someone please fucking take my skin.
That's about when it's 130 in Phoenix. It does get that high. It's just rare.
Well, it also isn't as humid, though.
This is true. But but monsoon season has just hit us now in Tucson, so it's 100 and fuck plus humidity.
Yeah. It's like, I'd rather take a dry 130 than 105 and 90% humidity.
Trust me, you do not want to take 130 in any humidity level, including 0.
Yeah, 130 is when stuff starts melting that you don't want to have melt,
Fair enough.
like
Right.
like roads.
Like the bottoms of your shoes.
Yeah.
Like your face if you trip.
Like your face if you stand in one spot.
Touche.
Ugh. Oh, I hear kitties.
But yeah, other than that, just been kind of living. I guess
All right.
next human.
Alex.
Well, I have been kind of enjoying the break. Work's been a little bit better for the last week or so, so that's good. I'm starting to get into the swing of some of the new stuff. Right now I'm playing ARMS because it got an update and a new character, and that's neat.
It's a free new character, right?
Yes, ARMS is going with the Splatoon model of incremental stuff.
Well, that's nice.
Um,
I mean, it wouldn't be outside of Nintendo's possibility, you know, like, ooh, here's a new character, $15, please.
Yeah, they're not usually the kind that does that, but they could. I've had Zombital that we reviewed a while ago running for a while recently, just mostly out of curiosity to see what happens when you get further. I assume it's not much. Though next week I'm going to start trying to get some work done on the games we're reviewing when we come back because, better to get started on that in advance.
Yeah.
I actually, since we didn't have Fragments today, I was able to stay a little bit longer at the game store that I go to on Wednesdays to hang out with friends. And while I was there, I finished building a Gundam model for the first time in quite a while, so that's good.
Woohoo.
So what
I
is
think
your level of articulation?
I do different levels. I was doing a high grade this time just because I didn't want to start with anything complicated, and I have a couple of more high grades saved up, and then like 3 master grades I'm waiting to build, but we'll see. I don't like the master grades have high articulation, but they're also large, so they're not really that much harder. It's the real grades that are a pain because they have teeny tiny. They have like more articulation than a master grade sometimes, but they're high grade size.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't want to do a real grade. I might do another master grade if I ever get the money, but that also involves money.
So yeah, that was fun. I haven't watched the Castlevania Netflix series yet, but I kind of want to because I've heard it's good actually, which,
Yeah, it's pretty good. The first 2 episodes kind of drag on a little with the exposition and setup and whatnot, but once it gets going, it gets going.
Yeah, it's not shocking for a Netflix series to be good, but it's slightly shocking for a video game-based series to be good.
Well, that's I think because of Warren Ellis.
Yeah, having an actual like good writer on stuff does help a lot. So yeah, other than that, I think not a whole ton going on. So next,
Twilight.
And let's see now. Well, as I said last week, my mother fell and injured her arm, and thankfully it appears not to be broken, so it's healing up pretty well. And then just this past week, one of our computers at work died after 10 years of use.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Do they have a
just
Viking
had to-
funeral out in the back?
No, it just unceremoniously got swapped out with another box. How's that?
Oh, no
besides
one
that,
pull
I
out the
mean-
bagpipes and whatever?
Sadly not.
Damn.
Work never stops, I guess you could say. Besides that, been playing some multiplayer games. Multiplayer games with my friends online, like Saints Row 4 and Borderlands 2. I've also been playing Atelier Sophie on Steam. That's about it for me.
All right, well, I'll keep this brief because we've been holding our guest on ice too long. Work is actually proceeding on the 4th novel in the Starship Moonhawk series.
Oh man.
Yay.
This is important because I have decided, with Keith's acceptance, to attend FurryCon in Mississippi with him Labor Day weekend.
Oh
Is it actually
my.
called FurryCon?
It is actually called FurryCon.
Okay,
And
so
this
it's
is-
different than Anthrocon, because that's
Correct. This
also
is
a FurryCon.
So we'll be at FurryCon in Mississippi the Labor Day weekend, and the reason that's significant is because furries are very, very receptive to general science fiction, and they have money.
That if I know anything about furries from like stuff is that these are people who are willing to throw out hundreds of dollars for art of an OC. They're some of the people who don't try to rip off people when they commission art usually. So
Yep. That'll be my re-debut because it's been about 5 years since I've been to a con as the actual talent. Normally, I've just been the baggage carrier. So I'm hoping to have 3, maybe possibly 4 Starship Moonhawk novels if I can get the writing finished and the editing done. This should be interesting because the last time I was on a tear, I actually managed to write an entire Starship Moonhawk novel in 2.5 weeks. And it was actually
first
good.
draft, you mean?
Right. Well, editing was optional back in the day. And it shows. Oh, God, please don't ever find a reused copy of Inside Outsider. So we got that going on. The thrice weekly updates continue apace. We are rapidly approaching a bridge in Act 5, where our new artist, Henderson Soares, will be taking over as line artist, and Keith will continue on as colorist and FX specialist. So this is significant because it is the second set of truly new Starship Moonhawk pages in 6 years.
Did you get that bridge design thing worked out?
Yes, and I'm assuming that we're using the term bridge 2 different ways here, because one is I'm bridging the gap in the storyline.
Oh yes, I meant the bridge as in the
based on
where
the
you
reboot.
run the
Yep.
ship from.
I'll tell you what, Oshie really Oshie is his nickname, but Oshie really understands science fiction comics, and I think this is going to work out extremely well because his technical stuff is easily on par with Keith's. Yep, and we just lost Ogre.
I give it.
He'll
That
probably
happens.
come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't Petty Fan, because when he goes, the entire show goes.
And now that you've said it, thanks.
Yeah, now you just opened fucking Pandora's
Okay,
box.
my desk is real wood, and I knocked on it.
All right. The other thing is, like I said, I'm working on the 4th Starship Moonhawk novel, which is called Square Peg in a Round Hole. It's a story about Dr. Heather Lopez, which is significant because she is grossly underused in this series so far. She has a major role in the prequel novel, The Fire in the Forge, but as of yet, that novel has not been released. It's over 200 pages now, though.
That's like an actual novel length.
I know, right? Instead of being that dime novel shit I'm used to producing. Movies kind of on hold for right now while we're trying to build up the audience for both this program and the webcomic, because right now I think the webcomic is sitting at like 108 readers. It's pretty lame. My smut stuff does over 2,000, and I don't even update that on the regular.
Well, there's some sort of a universal appeal to that end.
Oh, you
But-
think? There's just something about Skeeve that attracts the internet. But yeah, I believe it or not, and I won't be mentioning this on Facebook, but I have started a Mace Palladino Facebook account. So using a different email address and login, I will be posting as my alter ego. I'm even going to have a photograph of me wearing my Cubs hat with my dark glasses and my bandit mask.
Okay, I won't tell Facebook.
Yeah, so please stop by and zook me while you're at it.
Understood.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to use as many social media platforms as possible to promote this. And while I can set up a professional page, you can link to the sauce. You just can't show the sauce.
Mhm.
That's the rule. That's man law on Facebook. So that's what I'll probably start doing. I will probably not have any of the same friends, except for those who are obviously amenable to the idea. But that's why I've got two phones, so I can keep my logins straight.
Yep.
Not post something that was meant for something else in front of my largely conservative right-wing family.
So, by the way, I do porn.
It's like, right, but do you perform in it? Because I'm asking for a friend.
I need a guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably have like the state police here because filming pornography is illegal in the state of Arizona. So, but illustrating it's okay.
Anyway,
it's kinda-
Sure.
Yeah.
anyway,
Anywho, that's enough of that. That's it for the news. So, without further ado, we bring to you the main event for our penultimate episode of season 12 of Moonhawk Studios Presents. We have been very fortunate, and I hope to God he hasn't fallen asleep, to bring Brad Jones back to the program.
Hey, how's it going?
He lives.
Oh man. I think it's almost wrong for me to peg you as just the cinema snob. You do so much more than that now.
True. I'm the creator of 2 episodes of Softly from Cable 6 years ago.
Awesome. You've got that. You've got Brad Tries. You've got so many other things that you're doing these days. It's like you are truly a renaissance man, sir.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, we got midnight screenings and Lloyd the animated series. That's why Real Lloyd was meowing a second ago.
Nice.
Mention my show.
My cats are like that too, except they don't understand that they're not under contract.
Oh. Don't mention contract in front of Lloyd. He doesn't know what that word is.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We don't want to terrify the cats. They are kind of skittish.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so tell me a little bit about this stuff. What have you been up to since the last time you've been on the program? You've been up to quite a bit, haven't you? You put out a movie. You got all this. Let's hear about that.
Yeah, I put out a movie. I hang out at the house. I sleep and eat and the usual stuff. But yeah, we did last October. We shot a movie called Jesus Bro, which was put out on DVD last April, a few months ago. We put it. It's on DVD and it's on Vimeo on demand, so you can rent it or buy it digitally, and you can get the DVD because that's where all the extra stuff is.
Nice. God damn. Yes.
Crickets.
What is wrong with me? I told you I needed the coffee today. I'm just having one of those days where the synapses are not firing in order.
well,
Go for it.
one thing that we should bring attention. This is actually the 10th year of the Cinema Snob.
Oh wow, there you go.
It is. Like I did a whole anniversary day thing where I did 10 new episodes, and yeah, that was fun. Like having the realization of, oh man, I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm old.
Oh, come on now. Well, now that you've got the first 10 under the belt, what are the plans for the future?
As far as the Cinema Snob goes,
That or just in general?
oh well, we just put out Jesus Bro on DVD. We'd like to have a different movie, a different big movie every year. We're kind of trying to balance back and forth bigger movie projects like Jesus Bro, which was the biggest budget we've had to date. And in between those, like here in the next month or two, in pre-production on something that I've written and am going to be directing myself, because I haven't directed a movie in quite a while. So I'm going to be directing something here with hopefully within the next couple of months. We're doing pre-production on that now. Ryan Mitchell, who's the producer, is doing some location scouting for me. So fingers crossed it goes well.
Tight. Got any crossovers planned? Anything exciting there?
Probably in December. Doug and I were talking about doing another crossover come December. Other than that, I mean, I don't plan a lot of my Snob episodes too far out in advance. I kind of do just it keeps it spontaneous for myself to just have like a list of episodes and then just kind of sit there and look and be like, okay, I want to do that one this week, or I want to do that one this week.
Aside from doing the porn parody of whatever major movie came out lately.
Oh yeah, the tie-in episodes. Yeah, we're pretty much past that now. Playmate of the Apes, which is the one I put up an episode on Playmate of the Apes a couple of days ago, and that's pretty much the last of like the tie-in summer movie episodes. Which
now.
I'm kind of relieved about, because there was a lot of big summer movies this year. It seemed like every week I was doing some tie-in thing this summer, so I'm kind of glad I'm like, okay, now I can, do stuff I've been wanting to do for a little bit. But come September, there'll be another musical month like there always is, and then October, of course, is like the Halloween episodes. So yeah, that's coming up. Aside from what's coming up between then, you'll see. There'll be some mainstream stuff. There'll be some more religious movies.
Oh, yeah, religious movies are a fun one.
Yeah.
Well,
Actually, the one I've got coming up this Monday is probably if you did a list of like the most mainstream movies I've done on the Cinema Snob, the one I got coming up on Monday would probably be in the top 3.
Huh. Like, so not Ben-Hur 2016 then?
No, not Ben-Hur 2016. I think more people have probably seen Nuki than saw that movie.
I forget. I never really looked too much into this. Did Ben-Hur 2016, is that like as ridiculously long as the original?
No. I actually didn't see it, which tells you how many people have seen that movie. Because I have a show where I go see everything that comes out, and I didn't see that. I think I was at another movie that night. So Brian Lewis and Sarah Gobble, who are on my site as well, and they're also in my show Midnight Screenings. They went to go see it. They did a review for the new Ben-Hur. And I think it was like about 2 hours exact, maybe a little bit over, but nothing like 3 hours, 3.5 hours like the Heston one was.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was one of those Charlton Heston. I don't know how many reels it takes to be that long, but one of the ones that ends up being 2 VHSs.
Hey, man, epics were epics back then.
Yeah.
I kind of missed that,
Yeah, keep in mind, this is a movie that started with an 8-minute overture.
Yeah, movies were, an epic was a freaking epic. You had overtures, you had
Intermissions.
Yeah, intermissions.
Mm-hmm.
All of that good stuff. They were events.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At least no horses died in that one.
In the new one?
Yeah, I'm like, the 1930s Ben-Hur had horses in it that died.
Oh yeah. The silent film, yeah.
Chariot racing can be brutal.
It turns out.
Well, it's because of that film that animal cruelty laws became a thing in Hollywood.
More so Heaven's Gate. More so with Heaven's Gate because of the issues with the horses and one of them getting blown up. That really led to a lot of the laws that were put in place about that, and the ending credits that say no animals were harmed and all that. A lot of that came out of Michael Cimino's Heaven's Gate.
I think Apocalypse Now, to a certain extent, because it wasn't filmed in America, but like the what was it? PETA had a problem with the sacrificial pig.
Probably. I'm sure. Yeah.
That sounds like something they'd have a problem with.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if it was PETA or the ASPCA. It's one of
The
those
ASPCA is a lot more legit, so.
Well, it's like one of those animal rights groups.
Wait till they see Cannibal Holocaust.
God.
Oh God.
Anyways, so turning back to your 10-episode release, was that stressful?
No, not at all. It was just long. It is all. Like, basically how I did that was I wrote down the 10 episodes that I wanted to do. Each one of them was like a follow-up episode to a particular episode from each year that I'd been doing the show. So basically for a couple of months, I was doing like 2 episodes a week. Like, so I'd have the episode that would go up on Mondays, which is when the Cinema Snob always goes up, is on Monday. I would do that episode, and then I would do an extra episode and put it up on like Patreon or something for some people to see early. And I didn't advertise it or anything like that that's what I was doing, because I wanted it to be surprising for people whenever the 10 episodes got made public. So I did that for a couple of months. And I was tired by the end of it. I was glad that I could go back to doing 1 episode a week and everything. But no, it wasn't stressful.
But you did actually do those, like you didn't do any of them in advance?
Yeah, they were all in advance.
Oh,
I did it over the... Did you think I did it all in one day?
No, like... Sorry.
That's what you just explained.
Sorry, I blanked out for a second there.
Good job,
like-
Gullix.
Wow. Now I don't feel so bad about being tongue-tied for a minute there.
Well, I live to serve.
Well, no, I was actually reading quotes for Jesus, bro, and then I blanked for a second there. I was like, "Damn, I better bone up on this film."
Perfect. Aces.
Yep. I'm looking at it here, and it's got an IMDb rating of 7.6 out of 10. So that's actually pretty damn good for an indie film, I would think.
Right on. I'm glad people enjoy it. Yeah, like it's Jesus, bro. It's gotten a lot of really good reviews, and fans seem to like it a lot as well. It's a parody of modern day religious movies, like stuff like God's Not Dead, Heaven Is for Real, and Saving Christmas. But it's a parody of those movies. You can be somebody who's not religious, and you can be somebody who is, and you can find enjoyment out of the movie, because it actually does have a pretty good message to it. It's not a hateful movie at all, really. Like it's telling. It's the kind of parody that we just hadn't seen in a while. So it's less about, oh hey, then Iron Man shows up. It's less about that and more like really playing up the tropes and cliches of these movies while telling our own story.
We don't really want to get into a discussion about how Tony Stark is actually the bastard Jesus of the MCU, right?
No, let's not give the game away, Mac.
because a lot of the symbology, a lot of the imagery in the first Avengers movie kind of set him up as being like, first he was dead and now he's resurrected and he saved the Avengers from themselves and stopped the alien threat. And yeah,
I think that pales in comparison to the symbolism they did in Man of Steel.
Yes, that is so true. Oh God, it was just kind of funny. It's like, but then again, it wouldn't be Joss Whedon if there wasn't a little sacrilege mixed in.
Yeah.
But you kind of touched on this. What has been the fan response? Has it been really good to your film?
Yeah,
You
it's
just-
been very positive. We've gotten a lot of like written reviews that were put up for the movie were all positive. On YouTube, there's been some video reviews of the movie. Again, it's gotten very positive feedback from the people who've seen it. So I'm really glad they enjoyed it.
I suppose that belies the question: has there been any religious backlash against the movie?
Not really. No. Honestly, not at all. There's a website called the Dove Foundation that they're the quotes that you see on a lot of DVD covers for religious movies. Like they give it like 5 doves out of 5 and things like that. And they reviewed Jesus Bro, and they didn't give it any doves. It was like they basically rate things on how family friendly they are, and
Well.
the article they wrote on it like real actually kind of read is self-parody almost. Like they docked it points because like it showed a bare shoulders at one point, and it showed a man in shorts in one part, so they docked points on that. And I put up a video where I was reading their article on it, and I had a lot of fun with it. And then we put out a DVD that says like 0 doves on it. And then when I did that, I actually did hear back from the CEO of the Dove Foundation, and she was really nice. And she said, yeah, I guess our reviewer forgot to take his humor pill that day. So that was more so just kind of rating the movie on a scale of, I guess,
Religiousness.
How much bare shoulders are in the film. I don't know, but like other than that, which I don't know if I'd really call that religious backlash, but no, there hasn't been. There hasn't been at all. Actually, people who we had people of a lot of different faiths work on the film and were in the film, and again, people of different faiths also really seem to enjoy it.
It seems like you did a pretty good job of making a fairly respectful parody, so that tends to help with audiences that are sometimes touchy about stuff. So
yeah, that's the kind of movie we wanted to make. We didn't want to make we basically wanted to use all of the cliches of the Pure Flix movies, stuff like God's Not Dead, and really parody those things, while also making a more uplifting, hopeful movie than they've ever made.
Because some of those movies are pretty bleak and cynical, really, if you cut down to it.
Were they the ones who made?
You sound like a robot.
You sound a little bit like a robot to me, so I don't know. There's some kind of connection thingy.
Let's see here. Adam nearly got muted. Brad is roboting, and Brad hears everybody else is roboting. So, all right, let's see here.
Everything is broken. Skype is burning. It's a usual day for MSP.
All right. Brad, can you still hear us? How do I sound?
You still sound like a robot.
Yeah. Brad sounds like he's underwater right now.
Yeah, I think the connection issue is on Brad's end, because I can hear you guys just fine.
Brad, just as an experiment, would you mind rejoining the call? See if that helps.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry, folks. Just a few moments here.
Do I need to get the Jeopardy music out?
No.
Maybe.
You never need to actually get the Jeopardy music out. However, you might need to stop me from whistling it.
We're not in the same zip code. I can't, go to your house and grab you from outside of a window and be like, no.
Do we need to invite him back, or does he just click on it?
Since he hasn't been ejected, he'll just be able to click join call.
I'll bring him back in case.
Technology.
We have no failure here on the podcast.
Where's Potato Sniffer?
You don't love us no more.
Well, he hangs out in the Twitch chat, so I think it's just more he doesn't know where this channel exists.
In spite of the fact that we link to it pretty regularly.
And looks like Brad got knocked offline.
Oh no.
dear.
Well, maybe that's why there was roboting.
So I
Yeah.
guess here's where we
hang
talk
on.
about net neutrality.
Yeah. I
Jesus
just popped back
Christ.
up.
Whew, okay. Okay.
You had us
Okay.
scared for.
Yeah, he might have reset his Skype stuff. So
Could
Might
be.
reset his modem, maybe.
That was an awful fast reset of a modem.
Yeah, modems
True.
usually take like 90 seconds
Yeah.
if you're standing right
Yeah.
by it.
I was gonna say 90 seconds if you're lucky.
Well,
Well,
that's
you're
just for it
not
to
supposed-
reboot, not for Wi-Fi.
Right, and you're supposed to leave it off for at least what?
20, 30.
Yeah. Or else it might not register properly.
he's still having issues. Apparently, it's back
Oh,
up
God.
again. Hey.
It's. I'm starting to suspect that he was having difficulty on his end, and it just was an unknown problem.
I'm thinking so too, considering we're all talking here fine and dandy, and it was he was having the robot problems. He heard us as robots, we heard him as a robot. So
Mhm.
I've got a chat message here. Hold on, I'm trying to.
Oh
click
no,
on-
that's I sent a message to him
Okay.
in the general chat. Are you okay, Brad?
Man, we finally got rolling. I was having trouble getting started, and then.
I know, I know. It's
Isn't
like I
that
still
just
have.
how these go?
Why tech problems are problems, because it's not just that they break the episode, it's they break the flow of a conversation.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was able to understand him, so I mean, the last answer that he gave us should come through clearly on the broadcast.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, it wasn't incomprehensible roboting. It was just,
Yeah, I would have
just
said something if it was.
yeah. Damn it.
Yeah. We didn't even get to ask him about Brad tries.
Yeah,
How often
I
do
wanted
you
to.
get your stomach pumped?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
hopefully we'll be able to get him back in time, because I really do want to get to his shows, because
yes.
I mean I want to give his due to his movie and all that stuff, because that's a pretty damn big deal. But we want to cover all the bases here too.
Mm. He's been busy as a bee since the last time we had him.
Hell yeah.
Busy as an internet celebrity.
like busy as somebody who works his ass off.
Mm-hmm. Any luck?
He's still offline.
Oh man.
Like, yeah. See,
I can't see him because I have his old account on my friends list. So, oh, Ogre just died.
And
We're
now we
dropping-
start
we're-
dropping like flies.
I was gonna say
This is
Yeah.
the podcast.
flies or some other short-lived.
yeah.
This is the podcast where a couple of old guys are like, "Oh God, the internet sucks. The technology is lame." Anyway,
Well, it's like I'm like, Brad,
normally at this point we would just put in a filler discussion. But
I know it's like we don't know when he's going to show back up.
right.
It's like
So we're sitting here talking about our anticipation of his return.
And what we're
It's
going
like-
to say to him when he gets back.
That's
This is
that-
clearly the
like
best plan.
yeah. It's like that's the whole show, folks. Good night.
No, don't leave.
There's
Ogre's
Ogre.
back.
there's Ogre.
I hate bandwidth problems.
Yeah, I'm like, they seem to be torpedoing our show. All right. Looks like Brad's back online.
For how
All right.
long?
Come on, come on. I want to give him at least 15 more minutes of time. Hey,
He lives.
Hey,
it looked like you were having some difficulty there.
yeah, the computer restarted itself.
Oh.
That'll cause some issues in Skype.
It
Right,
Jesus.
will.
Right.
Jeez. Damn,
Getting-
Jesus, bro.
Yeah. Well, getting back on track here.
Yes.
Brad tries. Do you still do like old food on the program, or is that the thing of the past?
No, like
No pun intended.
it all depends on what I can get. The next episode that's going public is one that I shot a couple of weeks ago. It was on that Fruit Loops milkshake, but there's one thing in particular that's from 1989 that I have that I'll be doing an episode on, and it's an old cereal.
Okay, that shouldn't kill you as horribly as, say, like, Rusty Beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, rusty beer. Yeah, like I don't have any rusty beer in the fridge. I've got like a 30-year-old Jolt Cola in the fridge that I've been meaning to do an episode on for quite a while.
Oh, God.
I have
Oh,
the
man.
perfect idea for an episode now. If you could
Yeah.
somehow get them ham dingers.
Oh, no, not again.
This is a callback to episode 9 of this season.
Do I need
Yeah.
to find a link?
We introduced a new cast member, and the only thing she latched onto in the whole conversation was the fact that we were talking about Mystery Science Theater 3000, and she's like,
Uh-huh.
"Hey guys, I just looked up hamdingers." Like we're talking for it must have been about 45 minutes about it, and then all of a sudden, hamdingers.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
funny.
Might be able to
Ham dingers.
you won't be able to get a safe one since they were still making them up until the 90s.
Godspeed, friend.
Nice.
They're so salty, they're probably perfectly preserved.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
Eat some dipping sauce. It's all good.
The gravy can be its own dipping sauce.
You
You
just
can wash it down.
us.
Yeah, you can wash it down with some Zima Gold.
That's something I'm looking for. I've been looking for Zima Gold for a while. I haven't come across it yet, but I've been keeping an eye out for that.
My
kinda
fucking
figured.
Walmart just started selling Zima again, and I'm like, why?
Because it's gone over really, really well. It's been sold out and everything. So there's plenty. It's certainly been getting bought out.
I'm like, I still remember when Zima was the joke of the 90s, which was pretty much all of the 90s.
Zima was, when Zima came out, it was kind of a joke on sitcoms because it was a drink that was marketed towards women, but it was successful. It was around for 15 years or something like that. It still stayed available in Japan. It was discontinued because it was hard for him to compete with Smirnoff here in the States, but it's not a bad drink. It's nothing I get a lot, but it's not bad.
I just remember that top 10 list, David Letterman, 1995, him drinking Zima to dogs barking jingle bells.
Oh, yeah, that was great. I remember that.
He always managed whenever he had a kind of tanked top 10 list, one of them would invariably end up being that Zima crap. Oh man.
Yeah. What is, I guess, what old is new again, or something like that? Like, I mean,
what? No, everything that's old is retro again.
well, I
there's
suppose
a whole other, generation that knows of stuff like Zima and knows of stuff like Crystal Pepsi and some other things, but never got a chance to try it and do. So now they're marketing these things for new generations, and it does things like that do well for a couple of different reasons. One, people who liked it back in the day will go out and buy it again, and two, people who have heard of it for most of their lives finally actually get to try it. So it's actually pretty smart marketing.
True
Yeah.
enough, I suppose.
As long as it's not red, white, and dew.
God,
that's
that
still-
stuff tastes nasty.
Yeah, that stuff's still out.
Like, I
Yeah, I
used to
know.
like Code Red, but I guess they changed the formula and now it tastes like fucking cough medicine.
Well, and red,
And-
red, white, and dew is a mix of
Yeah,
like
that-
Code Red, whatever the white one is, and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that's not how liquids work.
Well, it's like they just
Sure
use
it
the
does,
syrups and
that's why we
carbonate
get,
it.
But hold,
why we
hold on.
get chocolate milk.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
Yeah, I had Mountain Dew USA. I tried it and was like, oh, I guess I like it better than Whiteout.
Yeah,
Oh.
Whiteout was just
Well,
It's a-
isn't whiteout a component of red, white, and dew?
yeah.
Right. So
It
mixing
is.
it with other things makes it less bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's still not as bad as that berry, like Call of Duty one they had, like the Game Fuel berry or whatever it was. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
just pure sugar, and it made me want to vomit.
Yeah, I remember that. Game Fuel.
Yeah.
Like, the
I-
other flavors of it aren't bad, but that berry one, oh god.
Right.
The Mountain Dew I want them to bring back is Pitch Black.
They do.
Pitch
They
Black
bring
is back.
Oh,
they bring it back. It's like the McRib. Like it comes back about once a year or something like
Mhm.
that.
Well, no,
But
it
yeah,
wasn't
they-
the-
It's currently
Deucian
available.
thing, yeah.
In the Southwest here, it's currently available at the 99 cents only stores.
oh, cool. I love it when Pitch Black comes back out.
I hate
Yeah.
Pitch Black.
That and Crystal Pepsi is also a seasonal comeback thing, believe it or not. They carry that at the 99 cents only stores.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
I've never been able to get that. I've never seen it. Like I've heard of it being available, but it's always in the sense of, oh, that was available X weeks ago in what in Y store
I
that's
like-
not in your town.
I like to call it salty, sugary Perrier water, which is kind of redundant. Brad, you were
I-
saying? I'm sorry.
I can't remember. I stock up on Crystal Pepsi when they brought that back. Yeah, I stocked up on that.
You have a case sitting in your back room, like, soon, precious.
Just think in 20 years you'll be when they've completely given it up again, you'll be able to do like 10 years old revival Crystal Pepsi.
The special Brad
Yeah.
tries on Holovision.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, Brad. If you've got access to a 99 cents only store in your area, you know that actual supermarket.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, they've got some great stuff there. I mean, that's literally the only place on the planet where you can get LA's totally awesome
Oh,
cleaning
yeah.
products.
We have a few. We have quite a few of those in town. Like whether it's called like Dollar Tree or Super Dollar or Dollars Only or.
Oh no,
something.
no, this is a specific chain called the 99 cents only stores. They have like their color scheme is green, purple, and magenta.
That
Maybe we don't have
sounds like
that.
what you'd get for 99 cents of paint.
Yeah.
That's like
I don't think
that's
we
like-
have that.
Oh man, you're missing out. I had them in San Diego, and that's like if you wanted to get obscure stuff, it's like if you want to get pre-cooked bacon for $1, Oscar Mayer bacon for $1. You know that stuff that you microwave for 20 seconds.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's only like $5-6 at Target or someplace like that, and they'll just randomly have it for $1. And I'll buy the entire freezer case of it.
I'll camp out there on Black Friday.
Yeah, they just have weird stuff. It's kind of funny. It's like, man, I haven't seen that in 20 years. I didn't realize they brought it back. And it's like,
Looks
There
the
it is.
expiration date. Oh no.
I was just shocked. That's what I was saying. Anyway, moving on.
well, you haven't gotten sick on any of the food or beverage recently, have you?
Recently, no, not that I can think of. I mean, I have gotten sick afterwards before a few times. I did when I drank the 20-year-old Zima. I had to gag that back up. There
I
was
saw I remember your face on that when you realized you made a grave mistake.
The Candwich episode, I got kind of sick afterwards. Less to do.
I'm not
I think,
surprised.
well, I think it was less to do necessarily with that and more to do with I did a drink on that episode too, and it was an energy drink, and those kind of don't sit.
Ooh.
Oh,
Those don't sit very well with my stomach, energy drinks. So the energy drink mixed with the Candwich and everything, I was feeling a little nauseous after that.
Yeah, but nothing like
Oh.
serious enough you had to go to like a hospital or anything like that, right?
Oh, no, nothing like that.
This is a controlled environment.
Oh yeah, I'm a professional, damn it.
I love it. Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a. Oh wait.
Mm.
Oh.
Were there any items you had to not ingest because of, food poisoning concerns?
No, I mean there's been a bunch of stuff that I've gotten, but never really found the time to necessarily do an episode on it, and then they kind of expired because of that. But nothing that I've necessarily received in the mail and then been like, oh, it turns out like it turns
There's
out
a
maybe I should
6-inch
this
layer of
recipe.
mold on this. I probably shouldn't eat it.
Yeah, no, like but if it's something that's just been around the house that I got to do an episode on and then just kind of forgotten about it, yeah, that's happened because I've stockpiled a bunch of stuff over the years. So there is quite a bit that I've gotten for the show and
Look
just
through Brad's house. Somebody thinks you're a doomsday prepper with your mountain of
Yeah.
crystal peppy.
stuff
See?
that'll just kill you.
Yeah. Go through the pantry with a Geiger counter.
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't drink this radiation.
But it's so
Nice.
delicious.
Come on, there's nothing wrong with a nice, refreshing Nuka-Cola. Good. The isotope gives it that.
This product flew over like a lead balloon. It was
Like-
Fukushima reactor water.
Oh.
I think they actually made some Nuka-Cola for the release of Fallout 4.
They did.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
They
That was
also
100%
back-
less actual Nuka.
Yeah.
I think they also made Slurm back in the day for Futurama.
Wouldn't surprise me. Like, probably less disgusting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about this? Looking forward, is there anything that you're looking forward to trying that you haven't done yet?
Oh, looking forward to trying. Yeah, the box of almost 30-year-old cereal. I'm really looking forward to because it's a cereal that I remembered having a lot when I was a kid. It's the Batman cereal from 1989.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I had
that I've never done old cereal before on the show. Old soda, yeah, definitely, but old cereal, nah, I haven't. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, there are only two ways really that can go. It's either kind of moldy or it's fine if it's been kept in a dry place or a humid place.
Yeah.
My tagline for that is formerly part of a balanced breakfast.
Yeah.
Pretty sure the vitamin fortification has broken down after 30 years.
Still hits the spot.
Yeah. Well, sugar never dies, right?
Yeah.
Frosted cover Batman sugar bombs.
Hmm. Now, if you can find some C3POs.
I'll look and see what I can find. Or the Ghostbusters cereal.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of these. There was they made a cereal out of Robin Hood with the Thieves for some reason.
The Nintendo
Oh, yeah,
breakfast
yeah.
system.
The Super Mario Brothers and Zelda cereal, that was a good one.
Oh, what was it? The Nintendo cereal system is what they called it.
Yeah, those were good. I enjoyed those. The Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure cereal, that was good.
You know, Bill and Ted are coming back.
I've heard.
Oh God!
With the same actors, or
Yep. Well, everybody who's still alive. I
Yeah,
mean, George
that's it.
Carlin has passed on.
obviously.
Unless if they CGI him, I'm walking out of the theater.
Holographic. Burns the theater down on your way out.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but he's been gone for 9 years. They're not allowed to use him.
I mean, you know, we got Grand Moff Tarkin, so it's feasible.
When did Peter
Sorry.
Cushing die?
1994.
Yeah, that's
That could pose a problem.
They had the guy who was his body double in the video games, and his voice in the video games, and then CGI'd his face onto his body. I think his name was Guy Henry or something like that. Yeah. So has everybody here seen Rogue One?
I
Yeah.
have not.
I've seen it.
I've been thoroughly spoiled, but haven't actually gotten to see it
The
fully.
the real trip to the Uncanny Valley was 19-year-old Carrie Fisher at the end.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
weird.
Yeah, I was okay with the Tarkin stuff because they actually spent some time on it. So even though it wasn't perfect, it wasn't horrifying. But that was like I don't know, that Pepsi commercial in the 90s where they had the Star Wars actors in it. It was just God.
I was thinking like the Lipton ads with the dead people.
Yes, that too. What was that one where they had clips from Casablanca?
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably the only person in the camp on this podcast in the camp of they should have continued with the storyline for episode 9 and not changed it because of Carrie Fisher's death and simply recast her. No CGI, just another actor. They've done this before. I don't understand why it's considered respectful, quote unquote, to basically cut out the swan song of someone's career.
Yeah, I'm not sure because this was going to be like she was going to have the most part in that one, kind of.
It was going to be Leia's film, and on top of that, I think it's kind of upsetting for Disney fans who are just now seeing Princess Leia at the parks for the first time, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, the character dies in this movie. Spoiler alert.
I'm like, that's what happens when real life writes the plot.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. Sorry, that was a tangent. So, Brad, you got any appearances coming up? Anything that you want to plug before we wrap?
Yeah, I got an appearance at Wizard World Chicago. We're going to be there all weekend long. It's the 24th through the 27th, Thursday through Sunday. So yeah, that's a convention coming up in Chicago that we're going to be at. We still have Jesus Bro available on our site. It's thecinemasnob.com, and hopefully I'll be shooting a movie here within the next couple of months. That's it's called Disco. It's a dramedy that I wrote that's about a few people back in the disco era. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Nice.
So no 80s Dan movie yet.
No.
Here's a question: is DVD-R hell still a thing?
Actually, yeah, I just shot an episode of that earlier.
Huh.
Nice.
I need to wrap up the few Tequila and Benetti's. I think after this there's like 3 of them left. So because of doing the 10 Snob episodes, There was some stuff that I didn't really have time to get to while I was working on that. So, DVD Hell, Tequila and Benetti was one of them. So now I finally do have the time to get those wrapped up. So that'll be coming up tomorrow.
Neat.
Nice. Anything you're looking forward to seeing in the foreseeable future?
Oh gosh. Yeah, like Thor Ragnarok looks good.
Oh yeah.
The Hitman's Bodyguard, I want to see that. Valerian, I want to see.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see Geostorm. To see if Gerard Butler punches a tornado.
Yes.
I kind of want to see that, honestly. Yeah, off the top of my head, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of other things.
Oh man. Oh well, that's a good list. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Tight. Well, hey, I really want to thank you for coming on the program on relative short notice.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, we were glad to be able to plug some of your stuff there too, because you've always been a good friend of the show. So.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. I'll invite me back anytime.
Absolutely. All right. Well, no topic of discussion for tonight, because we ran a little long and it started a little late, early, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not going to keep everybody here all night. But yeah, absolutely. That was Brad Jones, the Cinema Snob, and be sure to check him out at his usual bat channel. And next week on the podcast, we are going to have Rebecca Becky Heineman on the show. I'm kind of excited about that because I never got a chance to really talk to her about Sailor Ranko when she was on Fragments of Silicon. I heard you guys talked a little bit about it.
Right. It came up. I mean, we talked a lot about a lot of things. I mean, it's like we did 2 episodes. I think there may be like 3 hours of material there when it's all said and done.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah,
And I hear she's also a bit of an indie game developer.
Yeah, she runs a development studio called Old School, which is right now helping with various games and bringing some classic titles to Steam. We'll be talking more about that next week.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. All right. And once again, big thank you to Brad Jones for making it onto the podcast. We had a little confusion on the time there, so I'm glad we were able to have him. No problem. Yeah, absolutely. Go see Jesus Bro. It looks amazing. And I'm looking at the Kickstarter video. I'm sorry, the Indiegogo video right now, and it's just like, this is something I need to add to my library.
Yeah, definitely. I hope you enjoy it.
All right, and be sure to join us next week for Rebecca Heineman. On behalf of the cast and crew here at Moonhawk Studios Presents, this is Mac Paladin saying thanks for listening and stay safe out there, kids.